Sirupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakandrikamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagadpade Gopesha Govika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastade Tapta Kanchana Gaudangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Jari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Madhuram Madhurebhyo Pi Mangalebhyo Pi Mangalam Pavanam Pavanebhyo Pi Hare Namahe Vakevalam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivadari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Jari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Where's your japmala? Where's your japmala? Japmala? Here. Okay, sit down and we do some japa. Ekadashi, auspicious. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Radha Shri Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Nam Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Nam Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna Hare 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 Krishna. How are you? Good. How is your japa? Japa
is stuck at 4.
Stuck at 4. Okay. She's also gone down, huh? Okay. Yeah. So you should do a little more because she has gone down. So you should go up. You go down, she should go up. Okay. So it should be balanced. So at least 16 together. At least. Okay. Yeah. But your health is good? You're fine. Okay.
Even this time you're looking fresher than
For sure. Yeah, Krishna's mercy. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, fine.
we can start.
Yeah. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivjari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivjari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Nama Eva Kevalam Olam Nasteva Nasteva Gattiranyata. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Sura Nirvukta Avinatvam Nama Naminaha Patita Pavana Nama Nistarayana Radha Maha Radha Krishna Surupaya Chaitanya Namo Namaha. Iti Sudashakam Nam Kali Kalmasanasanam Nata Paratapaya Sarvavedi Sudrishyati Jayati Jayati Namananda Rupam Murare Viramita Nijadharma Dhyana Pujadiyatam Kartamapi Sakrilatam Muktinam Praninam Yat Paramamritam Ekanam Jivanam Bhushanam Me Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Govinda Nandini Radha Govinda Mohini Govinda Sarvasa Sarvakanta Shiromani Devi Krishna Maya Prokta Radhika Paradevadaha Sarva Lakshmi Maya Kanta Sanmani Para Hadevika Kabaragariya Chavacha Yacheti Bantu Nandurabdurate Hacha Prasadam Avadasya Janasya Kritva Gandharvike Tavaganaye Garanam Videhi Tavai Vasmi Najivami Tavaya Itti Vigyane Devi Tam Nayanam Charantikam Kasturi Tilakam Lalata Patale Bhaksastale Kaustavam Nasagre Valamuktidam Karatale Venu Kankanam Sarvanga Hari Chandanam Suritam Kante Chamuktavari Gopasri Pariveshtato Vijayate Gopala Churamani Shama Sunda Chinganda Shekar Smara Samola Manahar Arikarasikamam Kripanide Sapriya Charana King Kirim Kuru Radha Chintani Vesanam Yasya Kanti Vilopidaha Sri Krishna Charanam Bandhe Radha Lingare Vigraham Sri Krishna Shegana Shamam Purnananda Karevaram Dibujam Sarva Devesham Radha Lingare Vigraham Dhyayantam Sikipichi Mori Manasham Tannama Sankirtanam Nitam Tachcharanam Bhajam Paricharyam Tam Mantravarya Japam Sri Radha Pada Dasyam Eva Paramabhishta Hridayam Dihdarayam Karhitat Hittat Tanugraham Param Adbhuta Anuragud Sabaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Ram Ramo Hare Hare. So today is very auspicious day, Titi, Ekadashi Titi. Can I have some more light? Light. Okay, fine, good. Tamasima Jyotir Gamayaha. Let there be light. We should go to the light. Krishna consciousness, and so we can reach something also. So, Ekadashi Punya Titi, very auspicious. There's any message there? You can check. Something is there. Sometimes sound is okay or something. So, Ekadashi Titi is Punya Titi. If nothing is there, then don't worry. Yeah. So, 2 times a month, Ekadashi Titi is there. So, Krishna is the source of everything. Krishna is Sarvavyapi, is all-pervading. Krishna is in the heart of everyone. Krishna is my heart, in your heart, in everyone's heart. So Krishna is there in the day, Krishna is there in the night, Krishna is there in every titi. And actually even the month, in every month, Purushottam month is coming up now soon. And then springtime is Madhav Mas, Kartik time, Damodar Mas. This is the name of the Lord. Presiding deity of every month is Krishna. Presiding deity of every day, every titi is Krishna. So, Prabhupada Sannyas Guru, so he has also given Panchang or Panchika. So, given even the name to every titi, a name of the Lord to every titi. So you can remember Krishna. But especially Ekadashi Titi, we should make a special endeavor to chant more, to hear more about Krishna, about Mahaprabhu, to serve more, and to eat and sleep a little less. So therefore, mostly we don't eat in the morning. We have half a day fast, and then we take light prasad. Of course, sometimes we are invited on Ekadashi also, and then we get a feast, and we have to accept what to do. So, but no harm. If somebody is offering with devotion, then we have to accept, and it will go to Krishna. So the Brahmanas are the mouth of the Supreme Lord. And so one time also, Durvasa Muni was in Braj, great personality, expanded form of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, he has expanded forms. Even Adi Shankaracharya is expanded form of Lord Shiva. Shakti-avesh of Shiva, and Durvasa Muni also. He was in Braj. So the gopis heard about that. And so they wanted to see Durvasa Muni. Across Mathura there is a Durvasa Muni ashram where he used to stay. So they were in Vrindavan, so they had to cross the river. And then, so then they asked Krishna, we want to offer something to Durvasa Muni, some nice prasad, some bhog prasad. Sometimes some bhog is offered to the spiritual master. Usually we'll take prasad, but sometimes even bhog is offered to the spiritual master. And he may say, you offer to Krishna, or he may directly eat, because Krishna is on his tongue. Krishna is in his heart. Krishna is there. The fire of digestion, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So that is Krishna also. So the pure devotee is eating that is offered to Krishna, is always absorbing Krishna. He's doing everything for Krishna. So they asked Krishna, how we can cross the Jamuna, so much water there, and there's no boat around. Sometimes Krishna becomes a boatman. But he didn't want to become the boatman today. So then he told them, you do one thing. You go there to the Jamuna river, and you tell Jamuna Devi that the Krishna sent us here, and he told us to tell you and to beg you to let us cross and the river. And then, but what he's saying, Krishna, that please Yamuna Devi, let us cross the Jamuna river. Of the strength of Krishna bringing a brahmachari. And the gopis looking at Krishna, what? Krishna brahmachari? You are lampat, you are debauchee. Now the Krishna says, no, you just go there, you will see. I'm brahmachari. And they're all laughing, but still. Because they have so much love for Krishna and they're thinking, anyhow Krishna is saying, and they're simple girls, the gopis, mostly. So then they went there, anyway, let's try. And they asked Devi, Yamuna Devi, with folded hands, please Yamuna Devi. So Krishna sent us here and telling us that we should tell you if Krishna is a brahmachari, then let us cross the river. And then Yamuna Devi is making a way so they could cross easily. And they were all surprised, oh, Krishna is embracing, kissing us as in brahmachari. What is this? But anyhow, it worked and they were happy they crossed. And then they're meeting Durvasa Muni, and Radharani very quickly prepared many preparations with the help of her friends, Lalita, Vishaka and the other gopis and manjaris. And the offering to Durvasa Muni. Let's see where we are here. And Durvasa Muni, so he's eating, wow, nice, very nice, very nice. Eating and eating, his belly is full, and many preparations, and he's blessing Srimati Radharani. So whoever will eat what you're cooking will always be healthy, and he will live a long life. And Radharani very happy. Of course, that is the pastime of the Lord. She doesn't need the blessings of anyone. She's the very dear associate of Srimati Radharani, most expert, but still, in the pastime, she's getting blessing from Durvasa Muni. Also to show that we should get the blessing from the elders to be successful. So now again, they have to go back to cross the river, and they see so much water there in the river. And how we can go back? No boat here. And so they asked Durvasa Muni, how we can cross? Then he asked them, how did you cross? Well, Krishna told us that we should just tell to Jamuna Devi, if Krishna is a brahmachari, then let us cross. Well, I don't know what kind of brahmachari he is, Radharani is saying, but still, we went there and Jamuna let us, she made a way and we could cross. So, but now I don't know if, what we should do. And I said, okay, no problem, don't worry. What you will do, you go to the Jamuna. And so, you go there and you pray to Yamuna Devi that if Durvasa Muni is the Nirahar sadhu, Nirahar means one who is not eating or hardly eating, then let us be able to cross. And they're thinking, but they know because Durvasa Muni is very angry, very quickly. So they were afraid to say something, but they're thinking he's eating so much. He ate so much and he's Nirahar sadhu. He's not eating or hardly eating. But anyhow, so they didn't want to offend him, they didn't want to question him, so they just went to the bank of the Jamuna and they prayed to Jamuna Devi, and so then Jamuna Devi made again the way and they could cross. So then they crossed and they were also perplexed, and how he's not eating, but we just offered him so many preparations. And then they came to Krishna, and Krishna asked them, so how was it? And yes, by your mercy, we could cross, and by Durvasa Muni, then we could make a nice offering to Durvasa Muni, ate everything, and by his mercy, we could cross back. Okay, very good, but we have one doubt. And Krishna said, yes, what is this? Two doubts actually. How are you brahmachari, first of all, and second of all, how is nirahar sadhu? That is no eating. Then Krishna is saying, because the sadhu is always absorbed in remembrance of the Lord, and is serving the Lord, and is not eating for sense gratification. Is accepting something to maintain the body, but is realized is different from this body. We are spirit soul. He's spirit soul and is realized. So he's not eating, he's just putting something in the body. And because he's offering everything to me, it is like offering to me. So therefore he's right. He's eating, but he's not eating. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, that is true. But then they're asking, how are you brahmachari? Are you embracing us, you're kissing us? And then he's saying, yes, but still I'm brahmachari, because actually I'm the Supreme Lord, Param Tattva, and I'm also transcendental to this body. So I'm embracing you, but I'm also not embracing you. I'm completely free from this material conception. So I was speaking some philosophy, and then the gopis were also convinced of that. So in this way the wonderful pastimes are there of the Lord, and so we should be absorbed on these days of Ekadashi in the pastimes of the Lord, of Krishna and the inhabitants of Braj, and then Mahaprabhu is the Kali Yuga avatar. The wonderful pastimes, and two kinds of pastimes. Pastimes in the spiritual world, they are known as Nitya Lila, divided throughout the day and night in 8 parts. Ashtakaliya Lila of Mahaprabhu and Krishna. So this is one type of pastime, the Nitya Lila, and then the other one is Naimitikata Lila. So Aprakat and Prakat, which happen in this world. Like Krishna was here 5,000 years ago. Mahaprabhu was here 500 and some years ago. And they're appearing in this world, and they're appearing, although is unborn, Krishna and Mahaprabhu, Aja Chaitanya. And they're always there in the spiritual world, but they're also appearing in this world in a baby form. And they're growing. Looks like just like an ordinary child, and they have the wonderful pastimes. So these are called Naimitika Lila, occasional pastimes in this world when the material world is manifested. The eternal pastimes are always going on, and then in this world, in Naimitika Lila are there. Go Lila and Krishna Lila. As long as material world is there, these pastimes are there. Mahaprabhu taking birth, Krishna taking birth. In one universe now, Mahaprabhu is taking birth. In one universe, Mahaprabhu is 1 year old. In another one, 2-1. Another one is just now taking sannyas. Another one is going to Vrindavan. Also Krishna is appearing in one universe. And then another universe. In one universe is lifting up Govardhan Hill. In one universe is bathing, or he's going to Mathura. And then in one universe he's speaking the Bhagavad Gita. So these pastimes are eternally going on. So first we should actually remember the pastimes in this world, Namitika Lila, as mentioned Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And after we may hear the pastimes of Krishna in the spiritual realm, in Shridip, Navadip and in Golok Vrindavan. And then by chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then by chanting the holy names and serving the Lord, and then by remembrance of what we have heard, what we have read, then that becomes one. Krishna Nam, Krishna Roop, Krishna Gun, and then Krishna Lila. And then we can chant and we can remember the pastimes to some extent. And the more we practice, the more we can remember. And then ultimately the pastimes will appear. So in these days of Ekadashi, we should be more absorbed. And then also Purnima Titi, Amavasya. Amavasya is coming in a few days. And then Purushottam-mas. And so we should do an extra endeavor also to increase our spiritual activities, to increase our chanting. That we should try to do. So, but then at the same time, we also have to hear the philosophy, which is there. The Siddhanta, we should know what is the conclusion of our scriptures, devotional scriptures. In our Sampradaya, just like in another Sampradaya, Ramanuja Sri Sampradaya, they will say that Ramchandra is the Supreme Lord and Sitarani the eternal consort. And they are fully dedicated to Sitaram. Some worship Lakshmi Narayan, and they have their understanding and their process of devotional service. And their goal is to go to Vaikuntha, to Ayodhya. But in our Gauri Vaishnava Sampradaya, the goal is, what is the goal? To chant more, and by chanting more, where we want to go ultimately? Golok Vrindavan, or Shvetadip Navadip, where Mahaprabhu is residing. So we should know the goal. And we should know also the process by which we can go to that goal. Process is chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But then we should also have the proper consciousness, and just like we have sadhana bhakti, getting up in the morning, having a mangalarti, then chanting, japa, then doing some reading, and then during the day we may be busy, but night time again we should try to devote some time in the service of the Lord and glorifying the Lord and hearing about the Lord. And so in this way, we may be able to be absorbed. Yes, so but then Mahaprabhu, so he came to give Braj Bhakti specifically. He gave the Yuga Dharma, the chanting of the holy names, but specifically he came to give Braj Bhakti. Not Vaikuntha Bhav, not Dwarka Bhav, but Braj Bhav. The loving sentiments of the associates of Krishna and Braj, and especially the gopis. So that we should know. So, and therefore Bhaktivinoda Thakur, so he has also written this wonderful book, Jaiva Dharma, so we may understand our position, so we may know how to, what is the goal, then we may understand how to achieve the goal, slowly but surely, step by step, like the child is going to school, first class, second class, third class, fourth class, and so on, and then 10th class board exams, 11th, 12th again board exams, and then they have to do to college, and so on. So similarly in devotional life, so the different steps are there, from Shraddha to Prem. And so we have to try to advance. First we have faith, then Sadhu Sangha, we are with the sadhus, and then Bhajana Kriya, then we do our devotional activities. Then Anatta Nivriti, we become free from Anattas, then we can be fixed, Nishta, no matter what, but we will never decrease our chanting. And then a taste will come for chanting the holy names, so much so that you don't want to stop. Then it becomes the most important activity is chanting, if one has taste. Still we are eating because we have to eat, we are sleeping, we have to sleep. We have to have some engagement. According to Vana Ashram, different duties are there. But we make sure that we can chant as much as possible. And therefore the devotees who have taste, they're always there chanting. And then they will do some other activities, but as soon as a little time again, they will chant more. Morning, noon and evening, more than eating, they're chanting. So that should be our mood. We have to eat 3 times a day, maybe, fine. A little bit in the morning, nice meal at noon, in the evening a little bit, or maybe a little more, no problem. But therefore chanting also, in the morning, more. Noontime a little chanting also, and then evening also. So in this way, then we may advance. So here we were discussing Jaiva Dharma, a wonderful book by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Jaiva Dharma, Jivka Dharma. The religion of the soul. So Dharma means the religion and means activity also, the characteristic of the soul. The natural activity of the soul, just like we have water. What is the dharma of water? Dharma of water, characteristic of water. It is flowing and it is sweet. It can be salty also, but we like more sweet water. So that is the dharma of water. It is flowing, it is sweet. Water is very important. Without water, we cannot live. You have to drink every day water. Because if you do nirjal, you don't take for 1 day, but then the next day you will need water, and the day before. And you have to take bath every day in the morning, prata snan. And we are cooking, we need water. Water very essential, most important. So, now sometimes the water is changed. Sometimes even in Vrindavan, I came to Vrindavan 1980, before you were born, right? You were somewhere else in another body. So in Vrindavan, there were not so many houses, hardly any cars, and no mobile, peace. Only 2 landline phone in our temple and in the post office. And maybe some rich people, they had a phone, but otherwise nobody had a phone. Phone has advantage and disadvantage also. And Vrindavan Marg was very soft sand, and only sometimes a car was coming. So at that time, so we're taking water from the well, hand pump, pumping the water from the ground. And mostly everywhere it was quite sweet. But we had some places in our Goshala and Vrindavan, it was very sweet. Madan Mohan temple, there on top, it was very sweet. Some places we used to go and get the best water. Other places sometimes a little sweet. But now the water is not so sweet anymore. Difficult to get sweet water. And the water is going down, the water level, because so many buildings are there and they all need water, taking all the water. So things are changing. Now also, so the change of the taste of the water can change sometimes. Also, now we have fridge. We put the water and make ice cubes. The car changes there. The water is becoming ice. So, but it is a natural. Of course, like for example in Switzerland, and in Europe, sometimes in winter it's very cold. And then the lakes, even big lake, there's a big lake, 35 kilometers long, and maybe in some places it is like 2 kilometers broad, the lake. So 2 times I saw in my life, not in my childhood, not afterwards, the lake became ice, maybe a few meters, maybe 1 meter or so, because it was so cold. And everyone, especially children, were very happy and they were ice skating. So the water changed to ice. So this vikar, so similarly the nature of the soul is changed when it comes in contact with this world. But then, so then it is engaged in sense gratification. But if it is again engaged in devotional service, then it comes to its original position of serving Krishna. So these things have been nicely explained, and so Sambandha Gyan, Avideya Gyan, Prayojan Gyan, how to advance from the first level to the second to the third level. So that is explained very nicely. And so also so he has given the 10 essential teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, known as Dasha Mula Tattva. So that we have explained already, but for the newcomers, and sometimes it is good to revise. And there's a so famous verses there, which it is for those who are scholarly, they should try to learn this verse. Those who are teaching, those who are trying to help other devotees, so they should know this verse. Amnaya prahatatvam harimiha paramam sarvashaktim rasabdim tad vinam amsamscha jivan prakriti kvalitam tad vimuktamscha bhavat veda veda prakasham sakalam api hare saranam shuddha bhaktim sadhyam tad pritim evati upadishiti upadishati janan gora chandra swayam saha. So these teachings, they were given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So there is explaining first that Amnaya, that means the devotional scriptures received through the disciplic succession. The teachings of the Veda, that is known as Amnaya. So it has been mentioned in the scriptures, and it has been proven that Krishna, Hari, is Param Tattva, the supreme absolute personality of Godhead. As explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, Ete Samsa Kalapam Sam Krishna Stu Bhagavan Swayam. Is Swayam Bhagavan. Only Krishna Mahaprabhu addresses Swayam Bhagavan, the original supreme personality of Godhead. Everyone else is an expanded form of Krishna. So that is established in the Vedic literatures. In the Bhagavatam, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself is saying. So Sarva Shaktim is all powerful. Krishna, with the little finger of his left hand, he was lifting a big hill. Therefore, he is known as Govardhandhari, Giridhari. So he's the strongest person, more strong than Balaram, more strong than Ram, more strong than Parashuram, more strong than any Vishnu Tattva, more strong than Nrsingadev. And the Rasabdim, Akila Rasamrita Murti, is an ocean of bliss, is an ocean of, yes, of pleasure. So, especially in Braj, the highest pleasure is there. And the highest transcendental mellows are there in loving relationship with his eternal associates. And sweet exchange. And especially the gopis of his age, who are a little younger, actually, like Radharani and her friends. So that relationship is most sweet, that is most complete, that is most wonderful, that is most amazing, inconceivable. And that can be understood by engaging in devotional activities under proper guidance. We can enter into the realm of the wonderful pastimes of Krishna with his associates. So, and then he's explaining two jivas are there, Vivinangsha Tattva, they are part and parcels of Krishna. So, Jiva Prakriti Kvalita, who are covered by Maya. So this is one kind of Jiva, who are eternally, since time immemorial, they are conditioned. And then the other one, they are Vimukta, Nitya Siddha, the eternal associates, they are ever liberated. So that is explained. So that we should know. So these are the words of Mahaprabhu. So that is the Siddhanta of our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Achinta Veda Veda Tattva, everything is different or non-different from the Lord. Vishnu Tattva, Balaram is non-different from Krishna and different. Radharani is not different from Krishna and different. Vishnu, Ram, they are not different from Krishna and different also. The spiritual world is not different from Krishna and different. Even the material world is an emanation from Krishna, not different from him and different from him. That is also Achinta. It is inconceivable with one's material intelligence. We cannot understand Krishna and all these things. But by engaging in devotional service in the association of the devotees, then we may understand slowly but surely. And then, so we engage in sadhana, in devotional service, and we should come to the platform of Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. That is to be attained. And then, what is the attainment? Sadhya, Tad Priti, that is to develop love for Krishna. As practicing devotee, we have some devotional sentiments, but at the same time, material attachments are still there. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Matsarya, and so on. Lust, anger, greed. But by constantly engaging, slowly become free. And then love will manifest. And then is a loving exchange with Krishna. So that is known as Dashamula Tattva. So that so has been discussed here. And so there's one devotee, Vrajanath, here in this discussion, in this book. So asking from one Babaji, Raghunath Das, Babaji Maharaj. So this chapter, the 18th chapter, is Veda Ved Tattva. So about the inconceivable oneness and difference of everything which is connected to Krishna. Everything is connected to Krishna. Nothing is outside of Krishna. So this Brajanath, who was a scholar, but he was Mayavad, is asking Raghunath Das Babaji Maharaj about this Dashamula Tattva. So one by one he's explaining. So this 8th verse is about Achinta Veda Veda Tattva. That is Mahaprabhu's philosophy. The different acharyas, they have different philosophies. Like Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Nimbarkan, Vishnu Swami. Actually, different names of the philosophy, but basically all are explaining that there's a Supreme Lord, it may be Krishna or Vishnu or Ram, and then the living entities are there, and they have a loving relationship. So, but the conditioned souls, so who are in this material world, they have to be awakened to that spiritual understanding. So, and for that purpose also the philosophy is given, so one can slowly but surely understand. So now here is explaining about this philosophy. So as explained in the beginning, vikar is there, modification or change. So the absolute truth, Vastu is there. in the spiritual realm, but then in the material world, it is then changed, it is modified, vikar is there. The material world is an emanation of the absolute transcendental world, from the absolute truth, from Krishna. And so two persons are there, or different understandings are there by different scholars. So one is known as Brahma Parinamvad, and the other one is known as Shakti Parinamvad. So the material world has come from the absolute truth, and the others, they say the material world came from the energy of the Lord. So that has been explained. So that is being explained here. So that is. And ultimately, so everything is coming from the absolute truth, from Krishna. At the same time, through his energies also, then the different manifestations are there of this world. So Babaji Maharaj is explaining about the Achintya Shakti, the inconceivable potency of the Lord, which is not so easy to understand. It's raining. Okay. So it was mentioned, as soon as Bhagavan desires, the Lord desires, his Achintya Shakti, his inconceivable potency, creates innumerable universes. So he's desiring. So actually it is also said that the Lord is the seed-giving Father. So by the Lord's will, the material world is manifested. But he's performing his pastimes, and he doesn't have to create himself, just like a rich person. So he wants a nice house. Like here we are in Gurgaon. We are sitting in a nice house. Prabhuji here, he had a desire to have a nice house, and he made a nice plan, but he didn't bring the bricks and made the house himself. But he gave the idea with his intelligence, and he had a consultant also, Vastu Shastra, according to Vastu Shastra. And then he has a tekedar, a contractor, who then is taking care of making the nice house. And he has his workers. And he was sitting in his old house. I used to be in his old house also. And then his contractor was starting to make the house, and he used to come here and oversee a little bit and give some, consulting and maybe giving some advice how we want to change something. And then after some time, the house is done. And then he moved in. So similarly, Krishna is performing his pastimes, but once upon a time, sometimes, let the material world be manifested. Desire is there, and then everything is happening. So, okay, nice weather. Some rain is there, some hail maybe also, a little bit. Ola, yeah, hail. Hail is there. Sometimes it happens. Nice. You can hear. So, so then there's a transformation of the spiritual, which is known as Pradhan. Then it becomes Prakriti and Mahatattva. And then Mahavishnu is entering. And then with the help of Shambhu, and who is an expanded form of the Lord, no different than different, and with the help of his consort Parvati Devi, then the uh, material world is created and universes are manifested, emanating from so Mahavishnu and then Brahma in each universe. So there's a different Shiva. In each universe there's one Shiva, and Parvati then they help in the process of creation, and then Brahma is there, is the second, he's the Tekadar. Brahmaji is the Tekadar of Krishna in the creating of the um, different bodies also, in which the jivas will enter. So that is being explained. So here is, we continue. So the Lord, so by his Achintya Shakti, unlimited universes are created through Mahavishnu. But the Lord himself remains absolutely unchanged. Om Purnamadam Purnamidam. So many universes have emanated from the Supreme Lord, but is not changed. It should not be understood that this untransformed Supreme is nirvishesh, formless, impersonal. So these are the Mayavadis, they say that the Absolute Truth has no form. But actually, the Absolute Truth is Krishna. And that the Absolute Truth has no form does not make any sense. Because even in this material world, so many forms are there. So much activity. So that means, because it is otherwise it means the Absolute Truth is less than even the material world. So the Absolute Truth must have everything, which is even there in the material world, but it is spiritual. But the impersonal aspect is there of the Absolute Truth also. That is the Brahma Jyoti, which is Krishna's effulgence. So on the contrary, the Supreme is the great and all-encompassing substance, Brahma. Brihad Vastu Brahma. So Brihad Vastu. Brihatid Vastu, or Brihad Vastu Brahma. Conscious, the great conscious substance, Vastu, thing. And the living entity is Anuchit Vastu, very infinitesimal, very small. Is eternally Bhagavan, the master of the six opulences. If one accepts him as merely nirvishesh, one cannot explain his spiritual Shakti. By his Achintya Shakti exists simultaneously in both personal and impersonal forms. He is a person, but he has the manifestation is there, the Brahma Jyoti is his effulgence. And the light, and the sun and the moon and the stars are getting the light from the Brahma Jyoti. To suppose that he is only nirvishesh is to accept only half of the truth, without full understanding. His relationship with the material world is described in the Vedas using the instrumental karan, case. Instrumental case to signify by which. The ablative apadan came to signify from which, and the locative adhikarana case to signify in which. It is stated in Taittiriya Upanishad, Yato vaimani bhutani jayante, yena yatani jivanti, yat prayanti abhisamvishanti, tad vijnana sasva, tad brahma. One should know that Brahma is he from whom all living beings are born, by whose power they remain alive, and into which whom they enter at the end. Is the one about whom you should inquire, his Brahma. So is the source of everything. So here this is explained here, the shlok. In this shlok, so those who know Sanskrit, they can understand something. You know some Sanskrit? Little bit. You learned in school, huh? Something. In long time ago. You learned some Sanskrit? You know some Sanskrit? Little bit, little bit. So yeah, I also learned a little bit Sanskrit. We can recite some slokas. I studied a little bit, but then I realized it would take too much time. Better I chant Hare Krishna and serve the Lord. Even I was studying some astrology, but then I also saw it takes too much time. Better I chant Hare Krishna and serve the Lord. But still, if you can, if you're young and you have your whole life before you, then you can learn Sanskrit. Those who are scholarly inclined, because it takes time and one has to have a good memory and be intelligent, Brahmanically inclined. In the shloka Yata Vaimani, the ablative Apadan case for Ishwar is used when it is said that the living beings are manifested from him. So that is ablative, Apadan, from him. Yena, which is instrumental Karana case, is used when it is said that all sentient creatures live by his power. And Yat, which indicates the locative Adhikarana case, is used when it is said that all living beings enter into him in the end. So that is in regards to the material world. So you need to see the devotees always in the spiritual world serving the Lord, and they will never come in Maya. Because there is no Maya in the spiritual world. No Maya. But the living beings who are eternal servants of Krishna, but they are not in seva. They are in the spiritual conditioned state. When the material world is manifested, they come in this material world. And then they come under the nature of this material world. But then they have a chance to understand their spiritual identity. So those jivas who come in this world, when it is manifested, they are actually, so in the Brahma Jyoti, but when the Lord is manifest, then they come through Mahavishnu, when the universes are exhaled, and then they come in this these different universes, the unlimited universes. In one universe, Brahma has 4 heads, in another one he has 10 heads, in another one he has 100 heads. So then they come here, the jivas. They stay for some time. If they are fortunate, they become perfect, and they can go to the spiritual world. If at the end of the creation, so he's exhaling, for millions and trillions of years the universe is remaining, but then he's inhaling, and the universe is entering into Mahavishnu. And those who are not liberated, they will enter the body of Mahavishnu. He's exhaling, and then the universe is again coming, and then the jivas, they get another chance to chant Hare Krishna, to do bhakti, and attain perfection. So although the Kali Yuga is the most degraded age, but there's one good quality. Kale dojani de rajan asti eko mahan guna kirtanave Krishna samukta sangha param brajet. Kali Yuga is the ocean of fault. There is one good quality simply by chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One can attain perfection. So, yes, so we have the opportunity. So we should use that to make as much advancement as possible, so that we can go to the spiritual world before everything is entering again the body of Mahavishnu. So that is mentioned here. These 3 symptoms show that the Absolute Truth is supreme. This is his unique feature. That is why Bhagavan is always Savishesh, not Nirvishesh, formless. But the Savishesh, he has form, he has activities, possessing form, qualities, and pastimes. Srila Jiva Goswami describes the Supreme Person in these words. Ekam eva paramatatvam sabhavika achintya shaktya sarvadaiva sarupa tad rupa vaibhava jiva pradhana rupena chaturdhavastit state suryantar mandale state jaiva mandala tad bahirgata tadrashmi tad pratichanti rupena. The Absolute Truth is one. His unique characteristic is that he is endowed with inconceivable potency, through which he is always manifest in four ways. Sarup, his original form. Swayam Bhagavan, Krishna, that is the original form. Adipurush, Mool Roop. And that Tadrupa Vaibhav, as his personal splendor, including his abode, and his eternal associated expansions and avatar. Tadrup Vaibhav. So the opulence is there of the Lord. Krishna is there, the origin of everything. But then his holy Dham is there, then his elder brother is there. His elder, that is Tattva Vichara and Lila Vichara. In Tattva, Krishna is the source of everything. Everything emanated from him since time immemorial, it is there, but is the source. And then Lila Vichara, pastime. So in pastime, Balaram is elder. And he has a mother and father who are elder, it appears, but Krishna is the origin of all. But is in Nava Yova Avastha, Kishora Avastha, 15, 16 years always, and most beautiful, most handsome, most strong, most opulent, everything belongs to him, most famous, most knowledgeable, he knows everything. He is the knowledge potency and is most renounced. Although millions of gopis are there doing the rasa dance, but he is leaving all of them. And even the most beautiful Srimati Radharani was the most exalted love, but he can also leave her. When he's there in the aspect of the absolute truth, is Atmaram, self-satisfied. But when he's in the lila, the pastime, then he becomes controlled by his devotees. By Mother Yashoda, by his friends, by Radharani. And he's feeling separation when Radharani is not there, when Radharani is so this is the inconceivable pastimes of the Lord. So the jivas, the individual spirit souls, and for pradhan, as the material energy. So pradhan is the material energy when it is not manifest. That is known as pradhan. And when the Lord wishes, then it becomes manifest. These four features are likened to the interior of the sun planet, the surface of the sun rays emanating from the surface, and their remotely situated reflection respectively. These examples only partially explain the absolute truth. His original form is Satchidananda, full of eternity, knowledge and bliss, and his spiritual name, abode, associates, and entire personal area in his direct service are opulences that are none different from himself, Sarup Vaibhav. So his original form is Satchidananda Vigraha, eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss, in a personal form. Unlimited, at the same time, he has a personal form which can be perceived by his pure devotees, and he's exchanging the loving sentiments with his associates. Loving exchange is there. So where is it here? Have to take care. So the countless Nitya Mukta and Nitya Bada Jivas are dependent conscious atoms, Anuchet. Pradhan includes Maya Pradhan, and its products are the entire gross and subtle material worlds. These four features exist eternally, and similarly, the oneness of the Supreme Absolute is also eternal. So So Krishna is the absolutely one absolute truth. Everything is one, but there is variety. And but everything, just like the government, the Indian government is one. But then the president is there, vice president, prime minister, different ministers in the different regions, Pradesh. So that is there in the spiritual realm also. So here, how can these two eternal contradictions exist together? The answer is that it seems impossible to the limited intelligence of the Jiva, and it is only possible through Bhagavan's inconceivable energy. So that we can only understand by the mercy of the Lord. So here the important point is the absolute truth is one, but is manifested in four ways. The Sarup is original form as Krishna and Braj, and the Tadrup Vaibhav, the manifestation of his abode and his eternal associates, and then his expansions in Vaikuntha. And then third, the Jivas, the eternally liberated and those who are conditioned since time immemorial, and the fourth is Pradhan, the material energy, which is sometimes manifest. So these technical terms are there, and so the scholars, the scholarly devotees, they should try to understand so that they can also explain to the conditioned souls. And because many philosophies are there with different understandings and which may not be correct, just like the Mayavadis. So therefore the devotees have to be knowledgeable, at least some, have to be scholarly, and then they may be able to defeat the opponents, or they may be able to clear the doubts of the devotees who are taking shelter of this devotional line. And so we should be knowing the Siddhanta of our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy as much as possible. But then always most important, most important is to be engaged in devotional service. Most important is to chant the holy names of the Lord and to hear about the wonderful pastimes of the Lord. So we stop here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay. So here, some darshan of the deities here in Gurgaon. Beautiful darshan. Okay. Okay.